take everybody in here for a second.
Can we take a picture with them?
Oh, can we do that at the end?
At the end, okay.
We'll,
So you have to stay for the whole thing.
We'll chat for a minute and then we'll get a good picture.
Which chair are you sitting in?
You know, wherever you want.
Sit here.
We'll sit there, okay. All right.
The place of honor.
Thanks for being here, guys. Good to see you. Yeah, thank you. Is it possible to get a little echo on my voice here? Because I feel like in a room this size, you need a certain type of intro. Check, 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 check. What's your full name?
My name is Susan Miyagi McCormack, and I run a website called Japan Culture NYC.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the internet live, Susan Miyagi. Miyagi!
Wait, not yet. What was your last name?
McCormack.
Okonomiyaki McCormack!
I feel like it needs that. Yeah, anyway. But hi, thank you for putting up with me.
No, thank you for being here for all of us.
Yeah. I like it.
All right.
Having a good time. It's very cold, so anywhere that is indoors away from it, I am delighted.
You live in LA, right?
Sadly, that is my weakness this weekend. It is so cold. Like, I go outside and I'm like, okay, let me look on Google, man. Google's like, okay, that's like 5 blocks. And I'm looking on the map, and it's like an inch. And then I go, okay, I could do that. 12 steps in, I'm like, taxi? It is cold. People don't walk in LA very much. I do. I'm odd because like I like to get out and actually get sunlight. But people don't walk around a lot.
No, you need a car in LA, right?
But I like it here. I love coming and visiting. How many people live in town?
Yeah!
Okay, awesome, yeah. Yeah, I love coming and visiting. It's interesting. I don't think I would necessarily live here simply because I just have that, you know, I think people, you either have California DNA or you've got Manhattan DNA. And I just have more of the Cali DNA for me. But I love coming. The food is amazing. And there's obviously the shows and just the energy is very nice and electric. So it's always fun to come. And the museums.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, some of my favorites. I love it.
There's lots.
But anyway. Mm-hmm.
Check.
Oh, I hear you.
Check.
Mrs. Okonomiyaki.
I don't project the way you do. So you were talking about LA, but you were actually born in Texas, right?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time, and that's also very warm there, but also it's become colder and you're seeing things like, wow, coldest winter ever, but there's no global warming. Doesn't exist.
Not at all.
Perfect phone call. It was, read the transcript. It was, but yeah, I lived in Texas for a long time, and I moved around, and but I always found my way back to Texas, and so LA was always the place that I wanted to go live since I was a kid. So like for 5 years ago, since then, I've wanted to live there, and I've been there almost 10. So yeah. So if I've been there almost 10.
I was told there'd be no math.
Yeah, I know. I moved to LA when I was 5.
Okay. So you're 10?
Well, no, I'm not even. I can't even legally vape yet. So. But no, LA's been fun, and I wanted to go. I wanted to go sooner than, because when I graduated high school, I wanted to go. But my mom goes, if you go to LA, this isn't like the movies. If you go to LA right now, you're on your own. But if you go to college, I'll help you with college. And so I was like, oh man, but in the movies, they just go. They just take off to LA. And then they meet like, you know, Brad Pitt or something, and they ushers him into, like, he takes him under his wing and becomes like surrogate son. And then so I went to college at SMU, and I was in their theater program. And what's interesting about that is that I applied to all these other schools, and like Duke, etc. And
Duke.
Duke is bad.
I'm sorry, I'm a Tar Heel, so I have. That's my initial reaction.
Well, good, because I didn't get in. So boo Duke.
Oh, okay, yeah, boo Duke.
BD.
How dare they not accept
But
Talent.
but at SMU they audition for the theater program there. They audition 10,000 kids and they accept 22. And so like I got accepted in the program and I'm like, let's do it. And I went there and trained for 4 years, and you know, you go through voice, movement, script analysis, etc. And then right after that, I was like, okay, cool. Graduated college. Is it time for LA? But I was already working in town doing theater. Had my own theater company. Voiceover was almost about to start, and I was like, as soon as there's a break in my career, I will go to LA. Well, the break didn't really come, and so I blinked, and at that point, a handful of years had gone by, and then I said, okay, now I have to go. And so then I made the move, and I was happy I did. Because I love LA.
So you were in a theater program, but where did voice actually come into play? That would be part of your main focus.
Oh, I had no plans for that. Because when I was a kid, I was made fun of for my voice a lot. And
in Texas, someone made fun of your voice?
All the time, yeah. All the time. I was made fun of all the time for my voice and picked on. But when it was time to read in class, they would go like, Todd should do it. And so I would just read in class, and I just didn't think anything of it. Because for me, and this sounds silly to say this to you guys because you've grown up with voiceover. I didn't know it was a thing. So I'm not kidding. When I thought about cartoons, I thought that those were actors. I thought that
the actual cartoons.
Yeah, they get their scripts and then they go do it and then they go home. And so it would be the equivalent of like Natsu shows up, he gets his coffee, he parks in his parking spot, and then they
does a few crunches.
They walk, he does they walk through the scene and then they do it. So I never thought about VO because I wanted to be an on-camera guy. And so I started out on stage and then I went to on-camera. And then my agent said, I have this audition for a company for Funimation and doing anime. You should do it. And I didn't know what anime was. I had not seen it. Yeah, I had no idea. And so, but I didn't realize that pop culture had tricked me into watching it already. Because I had seen Vampire Hunter D and I was like, why does it look a little weird and why are we spending so much time in the shower with this one character? And then I didn't realize Voltron was anime, I didn't realize that Transformers actually is anime, I didn't know all that.
So you were actually a fan of anime without actually realizing you were a fan of anime? Okay.
Yeah. And so when I went in and auditioned, they didn't hate it, and I stayed.
All right.
And it never left.
And look at you now.
Take a look at me now.
The album drops next
empty booth.
There's a whole lot of people.
So what were your earliest career influences? Was it more of a theater kind of thing, or did you want to be in the movie?
Oh yeah, no, really movies. And so the interesting thing is like I've done some movies and done some TV things, but voiceover, some people can do VO and film at the same time and they're very successful at it. For me, I'm like that guy that when I go to a dinner at Thanksgiving, I don't just get one or two things, I get everything, I do it all. Even if I don't like it, it's on my plate. And so that's how I approach. Yeah, I approach the career this way. It's like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go hard. So I don't have time for on camera. I tried. I was like, well, maybe I see XYZ doing it, maybe I could fit it in. And it just made people angry because my manager would be like, okay, I've got an on-camera audition for you on the Warner lot. You need to be there tomorrow at noon. And I'm like, well, I've got a session tomorrow. I can't do it. They're like, oh. Okay, all right, cool. We'll get the next one. That happens 3 or 4 more times, the manager's not happy anymore. So I had to just embrace the fact that for right now, VO is just going to be my main focus. And maybe film may be something I revisit down the road. And theater was the same way. I would get calls and people were like, can you come do this role? And the issue with theater is that when you start a run of a show, like you're running that show for like 6 weeks. That's on top of 4 or 5 weeks of rehearsal. So that's an 11-week commitment. That's hard. So I one day.
Well, Well, let's talk about your schedule, because you are also a producer and a director and a writer.
Yeah.
So how do you balance all of that?
Not well.
Do you get enough sleep?
No.
No.
No, and I just read that parts of your brain die when you don't. So like
Right.
I'm part zombie.
How about you big by the zombie?
Just tell me where. Okay,
Be
good.
careful what you ask.
I'll bite the neck. That's fine. And so for my schedule, like for example, for this weekend, you know, I flew in Thursday, hoping that I would get a chance to go to like the Guggenheim, etc., because I'd never been there. But it quickly turned into, okay, got to get a haircut. And when I get a haircut, I need to go meet the East Coast side of my West Coast agency. Then after that, I have to go do an in-person audition down in XYZ. Then I need to go meet Bert the Pomeranian.
Did you?
Yes, I went and met Bert the
went to
Pom,
the
but he's
hall?
in the Bowery, so I need to go over there and meet him. And Bert the Pom is so soft.
Yeah.
He's so he's
He
this
looks
cute
soft.
little. If you haven't seen him on Instagram, Bert the Pomeranian.
Bertie Bert the
Oh,
Pom.
Bertie Bert. He's the cute dog.
Yeah.
He's the cutest. And I'm actually making a jingle for him that he doesn't know yet and his parents don't know. I'm working with a composer that does stuff with, do you guys know The Lonely Island? Yeah, he works with them and Saturday Night Live and stuff, and so we're working together on it. It's gonna be super cute. Not as cute as Bert the Pom. And then I had to, auditions and then meetings and so that was Thursday. On top of that, I start directing a show tomorrow, the 3rd season of it, but you gotta watch the first 2 seasons beforehand, and they're each episode's an hour long. And then on top of that, I'm producing a show that needs to be shooting very soon, and then I'm directing Power Players still, which is a cartoon on Cartoon Network right now. And that's tomorrow, and then I have callbacks for video game coming up. That so that's amongst all of this. So I haven't done a great job with it. I dare say I've done a pretty horrible job balancing it all. But don't tell the studio. This just stays between us.
My mouth is still shut.
Thank you, because I still need to bite you. Okay.
Okay, well, yeah. Yesterday I moderated a panel with manga artist Shiki Satoshi, and his current project is Dororo, which is a reimagining of an Osamu Tezuka work. And a member of the audience asked him what was it like for him to kind of redo a classic, to work on a classic. And so he said that it was overwhelming because, Tezuka is divine, is how he described him. He's a god. He's divine. So have you felt the weight of history on any of the roles that you have played?
No, because I don't want that to get in the way of, getting in. I guess it's almost like I'm like I try to be like for example, when I make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I don't think about the other peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that have come before it, and the legacy that is the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, because if I did, I'd be so nervous. I probably put too much of one ingredient on one piece of bread or the other, and I know how you make yours. It's like one side gets the peanut butter, one side gets the jelly. There's still a lot of apartheid in my sandwich making. Then you're like, well, do I go crunchy? Do I go smooth? All those decisions have to be made. So amongst all those decisions, I can't also think about, well, the inventor of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, what would he think about this sandwich? I just have to make the best sandwich I can do, which leads me to thinking I'm just trying to do the best I can do with what I have in front of me. So that's what I try to think of, peanut butter and jelly. Like we all do. Like whether you realize it or not, you're always trying to do the best you can with what you have in front of you. Then that's all you can do. So as long as you're doing that, then you really don't have room for worry and stress, because it's just taking up, what inside of you is just taken up by your best. Like it's like a Pepto-Bismol thing where it's like the dude with the, the most elementary inner workings of the human body. It's just the outline of a body and one little stomach and a tube. That's just full, your Pepto-Bismol self is just full of your best stuff, hopefully. You know, your greatest hits.
I'm enjoying your analogies.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, yeah.
What about the donkey one?
The what, the which one?
There was a Pepto-Bismol about the donkey and stuff. The same analogy, but the donkey ate too much.
The donkey ate too much?
Yes.
Now, was his innards, they were also equally rudimentary? Oh, you don't want to spoil it for me. You want me to go search for it. You're like a YouTuber. You're like, maybe you need to go find the video, and while you're at it, click that subscribe button below to get the latest updates on your, you know. I love it how people act like we don't know what YouTube is. They're like, and if you're at it, go ahead and click that subscribe button below to be updated for the latest videos. It's like, we know. But I guess we have to do it. But why? Why? We know what the subscribe. It's right there. It's in red. It's right below the video.
It's very black.
That's. I don't know how that would work, but maybe it's.
It's dark mode, sir. And I'm also a YouTuber.
Oh, see, so I was right. I knew it.
Is he the obvious YouTuber?
He'll tell me to subscribe before too long.
Subscribe.
See?
Okay, so for someone who is an unwitting fan of anime, what with Voltron and who else did you say? Voltron.
Oh, Voltron, Vampire Hunter D. Transformers.
All right, so what other anime things have you been influenced? Like, are you a fan of Fairy Tail, the Japanese version? Are you, or you know?
Well, for me, I look at anime differently than most people because it's my place of work, and so you look at it a little, like, you know, I would imagine a vet looks at animals differently than I do. When I see Bert the Palm, I'm like, I'm gonna squish him till he explodes into fur. You know, he's so soft. I just want to like squish his little head because it's so cute. And he's like, and I pop, and I'm like covered in guts. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry about Bert the Palm. Please, I'm sorry. We'll make you. And then I'm running away from the parents. The parents are chasing me. One of them's on the Segway. One's in a taxi. The one that chose the taxis doesn't live around here because they wouldn't have done that because there's a lot of traffic, and I'm getting further away from the one on the taxi, but the Segway one's catching up. But the one on the Segway didn't realize that I unplugged the battery before, and so he doesn't have a whole lot of juice left. But then I'm still running away. But I have guts of Bert the Palm on me, and I wanted him to live to make his cute post, which if you just noticed, if you looked on Instagram and saw Bert the Palm, he's in a really cute bee outfit, and it's so cute. But with anime, so I look at it differently. So when I watch shows, I'm looking at, is it fitting the animation? Is the voice fit? Is it fitting the flaps? Is the sound quality good? You know, things like that. So I don't look at it just to purely enjoy it. You know, like food. Like I'm not a chef, so when I eat food, I'm like really enjoying it, and I eat way more than I should, and it gets nuts and crazy. Yeah.
So, but do you study other forms of anime to prep yourself for your next project, or?
Oh, I don't have, no, if there were time, if God made a 36-hour day.
He needs to.
I just prep shows that.
Maybe the YouTuber can help us.
That's right. That's right. Make a 36-hour day, and then I'll subscribe. I prep the shows that I'm going to work on in terms of directing or writing. Other than that, I really rely on the director to give me all the fruits and vegetables I need to have a healthy session. Yeah.
How do you choose your projects?
I try to look at it and I'm like, okay, is this going to help or hurt my career? Because you have to think about that, because it's like every career move you make nowadays with how everyone has to put all their stuff online, it's seen. Like whatever move you make, someone's gonna see it, and the entertainment industry has such short-term memory. So everything is what's interesting is the entertainment industry has short-term memory, but you guys do not. That's amazing. It should be equal. It should be like, you know, when people come and talk to me about Ouran, the entertainment industry should remember Ouran. But it's a weird thing. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah. They're gonna go watch Ouran right now. Okay.
Don't take that, please. Don't understand. Sorry.
There he goes. Get it, get it. Get it off. There we go. You have a weapon, and there we go. Nice. Nice.
It passed inspection, the weapon.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, there's no guts on it.
No Bert the Palm
Yeah.
guts.
Oh, Bert the Palm. R.I.P. Bert. R.I.P. He's so cute. Did anyone look him up on Instagram? Isn't he cute? Oh my gosh. That's all you need in an interrogation. You're interrogating someone, you're like, you get to pet Bert the Palm once you tell us what we need to know. And then at first they resist. But then as Bert gets a little bit closer, right out of their reach, they're like, okay, let me just pet the dog. And they'll spill all the guts.
I do love Bert the Palm, but I'm more of a cats on Instagram kind of person. Yeah.
Okay, so like Bone Bone?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, look up Bone Bone. Bone Bone's good. Bone, Bone, Bone.
Bone.
Bone Bone.
Are you sure it's not Bonet?
Oh, it could be. What about Hosako Cat?
Oh yeah, he's really
Hosako.
fat.
Yeah, Hosako. Bone Bone's fat.
Cute music videos.
Yeah. You can get a cameo from Hosako Cat.
Oh, I like Japanese cats.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm more about Japan stuff anyway.
Bone Bone is Thai,
Okay.
but still.
I don't discriminate.
Yeah, still fat.
Yeah. Do you like Japanese stuff?
I think people think I'm Japanese. People think I'm Japanese because I'm
you look
Asian, and
half,
they just put me in that part of the globe in their mind just says Asia. Yeah. I mean, we're really close on the map. I get I'm Vietnamese though.
And I'm half Japanese, and we look just alike, right?
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
No one thinks I'm Japanese anyway. Everyone thinks I'm Spanish. So.
Yeah. Okay, I see that.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. I
My
didn't know
mom's from
that.
Okinawa.
Ah. Okay. And so that's why you're fluent in
I'm
Japanese.
not fluent. I speak like a child.
Okay.
Urumayoni.
Me too with Vietnamese.
Yeah. That's okay.
But I like Japanese stuff. I like I did a whole show about called Dagashi Kashi, which is a show about owning a Japanese candy store. And that was fun because I learned a lot about the different snacks and how meticulous they are with their presentation. And so I asked Funimation if we could do a segment, a special with it, try all the different candies. And of course, they go, wait, that's going to cost more than $1. We don't have marketing budget for that. So I went out and got, don't tell anybody that. And so I went out and got all the Japanese candy available. And I bought a huge 8-pound box of Japanese candy. I dumped it on the table, and the director and I tried the different candies from the show. And then everyone else came and tried it. It was good, and I learned a lot about Japanese culture from that. And then also, it's I like everything that everybody likes, Pocky and all that fun stuff.
I was gonna say which candies.
I'm not really into some of the things they sell in vending machines, though. They sell some questionable things in vending machines that I'm not necessarily into. When I go to a vending machine, I expect to see chips and drinks, but a little different in Japan.
Well, it just depends on which vending machine you
Yeah.
have on.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's awesome. Japan's cool. Yeah.
And you've been?
I've been very for a blink.
Yeah.
I want to go back and stay longer and explore the different, obviously different culture. I want to stay long enough to where I can train to be a samurai.
Or a ninja.
In the old ways. Yeah, I want to be the first Vietnamese Ronin samurai.
It can happen.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be.
I just need to be there for about 25 years,
At least.
to the point where I can grow the bun and shave all the other, what's it called?
Chinyon.
So I grow that and then shave everything around it,
Yeah.
to where it's just like a little island of hair.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you in 25 years.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a deadly.
Here, we'll be back.
Yep. Yosh.
So you have the voice down.
Soka. Kario no Tekin. That's Fire
You already
Dragon.
can speak.
That's Fire Dragon Punch or something in Fairy Tale. Yeah, every time he says, he goes, Kario no Tekin. Oh, Lucy. That's what he always says. That's his laugh. Anytime Natsu is like grappling with something in the background, it's like,
How do you keep the voices for the different characters straight?
Luckily they have a reference file for me that they'll play, and then I can
to
like,
remind you, this is what you sounded like. when you did
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
right?
but not for Natsu. What was so funny with Natsu is, we did that show for 10 years, and it was hilarious to me. One time there was a new engineer in the session, and they're taught to handle. This is how you do a session, and it's so funny. At this point we've been doing the show for like 8 years or something like that. And the engineer, typically what they do is an actor comes in, they set up their mic, they play a ref of their character, and they played a Natsu reference for me, and I looked at the glass and I go, did you seriously just play me a ref? They go, so sorry, and I go, it's fine. I'll never forget it. But, so yeah, they have reference for you, yeah.
So that you're not accidentally mixing up characters.
Yeah. And also, like, before you go into the studio, I'll sit there and I'll try to remember, like, okay, what show was this from? What was the character, etc. And then I try to have a rough approximation, and then they'll play it just.
What is the time frame for recording a show like a series like that? I mean, do you record a bunch of episodes at once, or?
It just depends on when the scripts are ready. A lot of times, though, like Netflix, they move so quickly that scripts are being finished as recording is happening. So it's a different approach to production. It's a little bit faster than I would do it. But so it depends on if the scripts are ready, how long are the episodes. If it's an anime episode, it's typically like a 22-minute episode. There's so many moving parts to it, you just can't do it all in one day. You can take a specific character and maybe get through a couple of episodes with them, but like when we did Sergeant Frog, a typical episode for a character will have 80 lines, maybe 20 reactions, maybe. So 80 and 20. A typical episode for Keroro was 312 lines, 140 reactions. That was a good workout. So that one couldn't really move at the normal pace,
Do you do all of your reactions at once? Just like.
Yeah, I tried to, yeah. And when I did, there was an episode in Fairy Tale where I was taking on my mentor, and he turned me into like 100 different Natsus, and so we did layers, like 13 layers of me just improvising stuff as Natsu, and then you layer it together and it sounds like a bunch of me. That was fun.
Yeah. Was that the most challenging thing that you have run into in certain shows, or?
Every show has its own challenge. For me, it's the most challenging stuff is when I have to do a ton of yelling, like a war game, like a Call of Duty. When I do Call of Duty, it's the session seems short, but it's because you blow your voice out in the first 15 minutes. Like, you're done, you're spent. When I started out doing Fairy Tale at first, I couldn't go 4 hours doing Fairy Tale. We had to stop. And then in Texas, in LA, a typical session is 4 hours max. In Dallas, it's like, well, when's the sunset? And so a typical session can be 8 hours. When I did Sergeant Frog, it was 12 hours.
I can deal with that.
You think you could do 12 hours of an alien frog in a booth?
Split tempo! Reporters for duty, so!
Yes, you're part of the armpit platoon, I see. One of my favorite Picapodians. At ease.
Sir!
What about the role for like the Drifter in Destiny 2?
Destiny 2, yeah, we did that. We did the Drifter over the course. So we just see a spreadsheet. So I don't see any visuals at all.
And that was the thing about see because you use multiple Natsu version in your character, like what happened with the drift in one line. But what about other rules like Archie? Because no one could was able to recognize you in Archie than a human.
Oh, and Ajin, that was a cool show. I didn't know Sentai distributed that, the hard copy. It was cool. That was a fun show. Yeah, no, well with Ajin, because it's anime and you're dubbing it, you do see the visuals. But for like a video game, 9 times out of 10, you don't see anything. You just do it.
So you just get like you get the story.
You get
have an idea of what's happening.
Yeah,
and you don't actually see it.
Nothing. You don't see your character. You don't see the level. You don't see the play out of the action. Absolutely nothing. It's just a literal spreadsheet.
How do you
That's
get
it.
into it? How do you
I take 5 Ambien, and then you have a good director, who guides you, who says, okay, this part's going to be a little more energetic, this part, bring it down, yeah.
You mentioned blowing out your voice. I'll get to your question in a second. You mentioned blowing out your voice. So what do you do to take care of yourself? Because I have a friend who this year had vocal cord surgery, and it was a very scary time for him. But
that scares me.
Yeah, yeah. But see, you're like 2 decades younger than he is, so.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
15.
So what do you do to take care of yourself? To make sure?
I just go on vocal rest. That's the most, like, letting it just heal and do its thing. Unfortunately, the people in my life, when I tell them I'm going on vocal rest, it's like they understand me and they keep talking to me. And I'm like, because it is odd. It is odd to deal with people that are going on vocal rest because you almost can't believe, like, why wouldn't you talk? You can talk, why wouldn't you talk? But like right now my throat hurts because I've been taught, because if you, and I've seen a lot of you in here, you see, I'm there, we're doing it, man. All of us together, 11:30 in the morning till 7 at night, straight. I took 1 break. I'm guilty of 1 break yesterday. But we're talking a lot. And so I'm a little concerned about my session tomorrow. I'm going to be vocal resting tonight and on the plane.
Okay, no screaming.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to come up here to the microphone, or?
Yeah, sure.
Me too.
No, you take a break, YouTuber. Other people have questions. We'll get to you later.
Where's the mic?
Right up here, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
there we go.
If people have questions for Todd, there's a microphone in the back so that everyone can hear.
Hello, testing.
Hi, we can
Yeah.
Alright, so where do you get all these auditions for all these parts? Like, how do you find out about them and sign up for them?
Oh, well, it's not necessarily signing up, but I have an agent that picks auditions for me to do, and then also I get contacted by studios that want to hear me read on something, or sometimes I just am cast in something because studios know my work, or they've heard of, they've worked with me before, or they're a lot of times, gratefully, they're fans of stuff that I've done, and they reach out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. That's very helpful.
Hi, next question.
Hello. So, as a creative person and who produces, writes, voice acts, do you have a certain routine or an environment or some kind of thing that you grab onto that puts you in the zone to create?
That's a good question. It's so interesting you phrase it that way because I don't see myself, it's odd, I don't think of myself as creative. I really don't at all. I think of myself as like a handyman. Like I just come in there and I got my tools. I'm gonna build you this desk, and it's gonna be a good desk, and you're gonna like this. It's weird. I don't think that with all aspects of it. I'm like more of a problem solver, really. I feel like for me, it's. I find that I'm at my most creative when I'm saying no the most. Like think about that for a second. When you say no the most, if you ask the most successful people in the world what a good piece of advice is, learn the art of saying no. I'm trying to learn that because I say yes to too many things. And so then when you're spread thin, you can't possibly be creative because you're just so stressed, you're spread so thin, you don't have enough rest, you can't create. So I'm trying to get better about saying no because then when I feel, it's almost like, it's almost like when you are too stressed or too bogged down with all of these obligations. It's like you're trying to, squish the sand really, really hard, and it's like squeezing out of your fingers. You know that analogy? Like you grip too hard. So when you say no a lot, it just allows it to just kind of hang right there and be little sand granules. And so I'm really trying to get better at that, because I say yes to way too many things. And it's like the second I say yes, that little voice in my head's like, why aren't you saying no right now? You should be saying no. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. Yep, see you tomorrow. And I need to say no more. And now when I do it, I'm gonna picture you.
And is that a vending machine on your?
I know, I was looking at that.
Or is it a refrigerator?
It's a vending machine and it's got a little ghost on it with one eye.
Oh.
And then is that a little kitty coming out of the butt?
I think.
Or is
that a tentacle?
Or is it an octopus?
That's a tentacle, isn't it? Oh my. Oh my.
Not enough how to do this thing last night.
But thank you, yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for your
you.
question. Next question, please.
Hi, kind of a silly question here, but whenever you go outside, you kind of nervous here. Do you ever become one of your characters? You immediately relate to it. You go outside and you see something asymmetrical. You become that kind of that is not symmetrical at all.
Well, that's just me thinking that. I just think it needs to be fixed, and I will fix it. Sir, don't go behind and touch the Mona Lisa. Well, it's crooked, and I'll adjust it. So, but yeah, no, I think in terms of becoming different characters, no, I just, for me, I know how to partition it, and this part is the work, and then this part is Todd trying to figure out who he is, because I spend a lot of time in other people's skins, and so when I get to be me, it's that's kind of like a rarity, if that makes sense, because I'm always somebody else, and so when I get to just be, well, me, it's that's fun too, yeah. But not as Bert the Palm. I'm telling you, Bert is cute, and he lives in this town.
Do you know where he is, though?
What is he? Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, hold on now. Well, it says on his Instagram.
Yeah.
He's at the art gallery called The Hole. It's in the Bowery.
Okay.
He's super cute.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your question. Next question, please.
All right. You have an... Hello?
There it is.
All right. You have an agent. A lot of voice actors and people in the voiceover industry tend to freelance, or they're lucky just to get one audition out of 20. So working with an agent, how does that influence what kind of roles that he or she picks out for you, and then you select out of that pool? How does that process work differently?
Having an agent allows you to get gigs that are in a different echelon than you would typically be able to get yourself, because if a project is going through an agent, that means that they understand the meat and potatoes of the business and are legitimately going through the proper channels to secure talent for their projects, which means a whole bunch of things, which means that they're professional. They understand that it does take funding to get projects done. And so it's a good sign. In terms of out of those auditions, which ones do I pick? I feel like I have a pretty good sense of what roles I'm meant for or not. Like if sometimes they'll send me a role and I'm like, I'm not gonna do a good job with that. And I don't do it. Because I don't want to put anything out there that I'm not proud of. And so I'll not take it. But for the ones that I think I am good for, I'll give it my best and hope for the best. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, make it quick, YouTuber. Other people.
Okay. This one's like a follow-up question.
You don't need the mic.
One of them is deals with what you just said. Because I want to do some voice acting too.
Okay.
And there'd be some voice acting girls that be like, yeah, I'm fit for this role, but I don't know if I can capture it pretty good. Or in your case, with the role for Mr. Knickerbocker, love the movie, by the way. And another question. and that kind of guy. Okay, now remember.
Just the one
of
question.
those-
Just the one question.
There's a follow-up question too.
Okay.
What would you select? What do you see, in the upcoming voice actor that's upcoming?
You mean can I spot an upcoming voice actor?
Yes.
Well, voice actors with the how much stuff there is, like streaming stuff and shows, acting is coming from all sorts of different places. Reality TV, promos, commercials. I mean, there's so many varieties that it seems like anybody can do it, and that's the magic trick. Everyone, okay, for example, a lot of people come up to me and say, like, I've been told I have a good voice. How do I get into voiceover?
But you do pretty damn well.
Not me. I'm not saying me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
like,
know,
but
but I'm saying
well,
that.
thank you. That's very kind of you. But that's. I said it to someone yesterday. Just because someone says you have a good voice, that's like saying, "Wow, that's a beautiful, beautiful guitar. Do you know how to play it? No, but you've got a great guitar." That's the equivalent. If you have a great, great voice, but you don't know how to act with that voice, well, it's just a great guitar. So you have to know the ins and outs of your voice, its limitations, its strengths, and you have to have, even before that, acting skill. That's 50% of voice acting. Voice acting, that's 50%. So you need that training, and that takes years of development. So many people get tricked into thinking that, they pay someone money, they give them an audition, and then there we go, they're in the business.
That's the thing. I don't want to get tricked.
Yeah. So by educating yourself in the ways of acting and the ways of the business, you not only just strengthen your base of acting ability with that, you also get smarter in terms of being able to spot a scam or not a scam. But the main thing, the most important thing, before everything else, is having acting training. Because our job is to make it look easy, to make it look seamless. You shouldn't see the hours that I'm staying up till 5 a.m., researching this or doing that or writing this script or doing that. You shouldn't see that when a character from a show that I work on does 30 takes of a line, you should only see the best line. So it tricks you into thinking that it's so seamless. When you see a great guitarist, you see them doing a solo, beautiful, memorable solo. Like, oh my God, they nailed it in one take. They've been rehearsing that for 1,000 hours. So I don't discourage, but also don't underestimate what it takes to get there. This is interesting. People are like with Johnny Depp, they're like, oh my God, he was an overnight success, Jack Sparrow, he had already been in the business 20 years before he became Captain Jack. And then subsequently he blew $690 million. But I would have done it for half that.
That's different.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
So we have about 15 minutes left in this panel.
Thank you, and sorry about that.
That's okay.
You two again, here's your TV.
Everyone
Next.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's right, see?
There's a button
Told you
on
I'd
the page.
subscribe.
Go ahead with your question for Todd, please.
Hi, I'm a big fan of your features on Watch Mojo.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a proud student from Jersey City.
Oh, right on.
Every time, when I'm in school, I'm like, hey, it's Todd Haberkorn. It's not funny.
Well, thank
I love
you.
fairy tale.
Do you have a question for Todd?
I am also a YouTuber, and I wanted to know how it is to voice act and all, because I'm good at voicing certain characters in anime and the English sub and dub. I love Code Geass, so and I know a little bit of Bleach, and in Fairy Tale I know a little bit of Braid. It's just so hard though, because you have to get in the character, learn the character, and all. I was like, do you have any advice and stuff?
In terms of getting into character?
Yeah.
Well, everyone gets into character differently. For me, I get into character differently based on the character. So there's one character I did where what really resonated with me was listening to the ocean sounds of the beach, and that helps me. When I did a play where I played twins, and so one was this erratic, crazy drug addict twin, one was the straight-laced twin. And so I would listen to ocean sounds and strings, music, woodwinds and strings instruments to get into character for the straight-laced one. And then when it was time for the crazy one, I had a pack of cigarettes that I don't smoke, but I had a pack of cigarettes that I would just smell. And just like, that helped me. But then for another show, what helps me is walking around, walking around this water fountain for X amount of minutes. That helps me. Then there's another show where saying a word multiple times in a row helps me. You know, so it just depends, and everyone's different. That's what helps me. You may get into character by listening to a certain playlist, or you may need to go work out, like after you do like your last set of push-ups, you're like, okay, now my blood's pumping and I'm ready to go, you know, take this role on. So it just depends.
I actually listen to the characters, like the voicing when I watch the anime. I'm actually talking while I'm watching it.
Oh, right on. So you're more like a mockingbird. You like mimic. You like to mimic other. Yeah. You copy. Like that's what Micah did. Micah Solasad, who was Soul and Soul Eater. I was like, how did you? Because he hadn't done it before, and I was like, how did you? He goes, well, I listened to your DVDs and copied you. And I'm like, is that so?
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
And the quickest route to a grave. No, Micah's great, very talented. He was great.
Okay, let's get another question in. Thank you, sir.
I'm a Pokemon trainer, by the way.
Great.
Right on. Catch them all.
Oh,
twist it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Other way.
angle it
like
down.
Toward you.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
If you were to be, first of all, do you remember me from Friday? You said I was the same height.
Yes, you were the same height as my mom.
Yeah.
That's right. And we took a picture where I'm doing my mom thing on you.
Okay. My question was, if you were to be any of your character for one day, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Well, I'd be Spider-Man 2099
Yes.
for a day. But that one's kind of tricky because, like, I feel like getting used to the heights takes more than a couple hours. So maybe that's a waste. You know what? One time I played a singing potato. Maybe I'd be that for a day just to see what it's like to be a potato. It'd be kind of weird, rolling down the road. And, you know what I would do actually? This is what you do. Okay? You be a potato. You go in and you break into banks, you steal the money, you deposit it into your bank account, you get arrested, so what? They fingerprint you, etc. They're fingerprinting a potato. Your potato goes into jail. The next day I turn back into me, they're like, Todd, why are you in jail? I'm like, I don't know, I just woke up here. And then they let me out. I've got a ton of money from the stolen potato days. I've got $690 million that I stole from Johnny Depp's bank account. And I'm living the high life.
Yes!
All right, thanks for your question. Next
Thank
question,
you.
please.
Alright, good afternoon, sir.
Good
I was
afternoon.
wondering, I know you're tired, but if you could please give us your best fire dragon roar right now.
Oh no, we're all gonna do that in a minute at the end. You too, so get ready. Okay.
Yay. Yeah, the mic is on. The mic is on. Ask your question, please. Do you want to banish him from the room now?
No, just give me one moment. You know what you make me think of? My mom. My mom's never seen anything I've ever done. You make me think, are you my mom underneath? Take your mask off. It would be weird, like, shh. And I'm like, Mom. I had to beg her to go see Dragon Cry. I was like, Mom, are you going to go see my movie? It's in theaters right now. I say, if I have time, son. I'm like, well, I'm your only son, it's fine. What's your question?
Okay, so I think the picture, but like I don't think we're gonna have time for that. So my question was kind of following her question. It was if the past voices you've done, like Death the Kid, Hikaru, Ling Yao, like out of all of them, which one do you think, if you had a chance, would you go back and do again?
If I had another shot at it?
Yeah.
And would you do it differently?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it would be different enough to warrant like a total redo, because the directors that I've worked with on shows like that knew what they wanted and were pretty accurate in terms of what they wanted, and so I don't know if it would be that different, you know? So I was happy with a lot. I mean, there's always things to learn and improve on, but because of the group that was working on it, I feel confident in what we did there. It's more films when I would go back and do roles again. So, because that's a different, even though it's acting, it's a different medium. Film is,
sequels.
you know, sequels?
Yeah.
Oh, I would do 100-Year Quest. I would
I
do,
love that.
I would do pretty much a sequel to anything except Save Me Lollipop. That was a terrible show. No one has seen it or knows what it is, and that's good for you. Yeah. There we go. Thank you.
All right, I think
Let's see it. Did you draw this for me?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like my abs.
You can.
I can have it? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, let's see here.
while he's tearing up this picture, you can go ahead and ask your question. I want as many people to ask as they can.
Thank you very much.
Hi, this is like a dream come true to me.
Oh, hello.
Hi. But my question is, when it comes to the characters you played, which one's your favorite, or which one did you say, would you say you had the most fun playing?
The most fun playing would be Sergeant Frog. My favorite is Natsu. Because, I mean, Liz, I am branded with fairy tale on my body for the rest of my life.
Absolutely iconic.
It better be my favorite. So it's kind of not up to me in that regard. But yeah.
Have your opinions?
Not when it's burned into my flesh. Yeah. So no, fairy tale is my favorite, yeah.
Oh, Ouran's got to be my favorite.
Oh, well good, I'm glad you love that because I liked working on it.
That's why
I love it. Thank you, I hope we get season 2.
Me too. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know I'm ready if they make it. If they want to make it, I'm in. So yeah.
Please pick it up. Someone, please.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for your question. Next question, please.
Hello.
Probably don't remember me from.
No, I remember you. You were the one that just graduated from college.
No.
You're in college.
I'm in college.
That's what it was. Okay.
So I was wondering, I, as a scare actor, normally risk getting vocal nodules. I was wondering, have you ever risked that?
I think I unknowingly risk it every time I'm in the booth.
Have you ever stopped talking?
Yeah, I've lost my voice for 10 days before. Like straight up couldn't even whisper.
Oh wow.
When I worked on the first Rage game, and I worked on part 2 also, and they didn't like the fact that I mentioned that in the session in part 2, because I was joking about it, but they were like, we won't do that to you again, and then I lost my voice again. But, and during Rage 1, there was so much screaming, and the voice was so placed in the basement of my elevator, that is me, I totally lost it for like 10 days. I was scared. I thought like, that's it. Like I legitimately thought I was done voicing. Because I'm not, usually when you lose your voice you can whisper. Nothing came out. I tried to whisper and it was silence. Like it was really bad. It was really, really bad. And I probably should have gone to the doctor. So there might be nodes on there that I don't know about, and they've already created an ecosystem and a community and like a little garden for vegetables. And,
Sorry if that happened to you, love.
Thank you. I hope it hasn't. I guess we'll find out when I'm dead. So yeah, a while from now. A while, not right now. Like December. So yeah. Yeah.
Nice talking to you.
Nice talking with you.
Hey,
Hello.
so you had mentioned Transformers and Voltron, and you mentioned you grew up with all those cartoons.
Yeah.
Is there anybody you had met during your voiceover work that you kind of got a little starstruck at, like, you know, a Frank Welker type character?
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, I get starstruck by that's the thing, is like, I'm always so fortunate to work with such consummate professionals and talented people that I sit there in these sessions and I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, you know what I mean? They're so kind, and most of them are so kind and talented. And there are a few
Not nice.
undesirable, but on the whole, they're so nice and they're so amazingly. They have such a legacy. Like, for example, well, like the Animaniacs. I mean, when you've got Jess and Rob and Tress, and I mean, they're amazing to work with. Andrea Romano, who did all of the Batman shows and Animaniacs and so many other things. When I do Ben 10, I get to work with you know, Greg Sipes and Tara Strong and Charles Martinet. I know well from working with. He's the voice of Mario and Luigi, etc. I mean, yeah, he does, and he's not the hero of the Goombas. The Goombas don't like him too much, and Koopa probably has a problem with him. But so many people. I'm always in awe of all of these talented people I get to work with, and I want to be like all of them when I grow up. So, yeah.
We have only 3 minutes left in this.
Okay, should we do?
Do you want to do?
I'll put you guys on my Instagram feed here. We're gonna do a Fire Dragon Roar. So let's do this. Let me make sure I get this recorded. Okay, so what I need you guys to do, if you're cool with it, because we're all gonna have to stand up anyway, right, to leave.
Yeah.
Let's just huddle in a little bit tighter in the center, and I'll come join you guys.